It's August 13th, 2013, and August 13th, I said. So, yesterday evening we watched a bit of the first part of the film Pi, an interesting film. Interesting music with it. But my wife really likes the TV series Portlandia. Some funny stuff on there. Anyway, is it possible to be a hippie hybrid? Someone who appreciates the incense of the hippie while rejecting some of the hippie views that might tie into what could rightly be called the liberal death cult. The liberal death cult has some key dogmas. Dogma number 1 is everything is equal. Dogma number 2, gay sex is just as good as straight sex. Dogma number 3, gay couples just as good as straight couples. Dogma number 4, children raised in around gay accepting parents, quote unquote, may not lead themselves to be gay, and that anyway, I think if you get sucked into the homosexual culture, you've essentially been sucked into a death cult. And you can also get sucked into a death cult if you have some ultra-lefty teacher who's telling you about the dangers of overpopulation in the third world and about how that means you should not have kids as a result. Now you have to keep in mind, I have a sister who has that view. Okay? Where did she get it from? From the anti-children, anti-family culture of the 70s and 60s. Yeah, everything's about me, me, me. That's a death cult. Okay? So, religion is a natural phenomenon. That's a hard topic, not just for a religionist to accept, but also for an ex-religionist. Huh? Yeah. Let that sink in a little bit. Religion is a natural phenomenon. What could that mean, huh? Does that mean if you're a pro-life atheist that you're holding on to too much baggage from the past? No. Could mean that you're just tying into a more natural form of human nature. Huh? Yeah, that's a tough one. Questioning liberal dogma. Can you do it? Huh? Yeah, you question all the conservative dogma points. Can you question liberal dogma? Huh? So, once again, the only form of immortality you'll ever experience, real flesh and blood immortality, is if you have kids. Families can be together forever through evolution's plan. That's right. Just take out the word God. The Mormon God does not exist, Mr. Mormon. But evolution by natural selection does. And so, the only form of immortality you'll ever experience, Mr. Ultra Mormon, Mr. and Mrs., is if you have kids. Well, you probably already do, no problem, right? Let's see if we can get the atheists on board, hey? Mr. and Mrs. Ultra-Lefty Atheists. Families can be together forever through evolution's plan. That's right. You won't have to worry about arguing with your crotchety neighbors or Christmas parties in heaven forever. That's for sure, and oh, thank goodness for that. But your DNA will be around if you don't choose the death cult of the left, and maybe some of your memes will be around. But your memes will have a higher likelihood of being around if somehow you manage to get some of your genes to hang around also. So, thank you, black atheists out of Atlanta. Thank you for opening my eyes a bit more. You know, people like Christopher Hitchens and Steven Pinker and Daniel Dennett, they may not agree with me on all these points, but one thing they did help me is being willing to question the dogmas on your own side, right? That's what Hitchens did, and he got, oh my goodness, people got upset with Hitchens over Iraq. Oh my goodness, a traitor. A liberal, traitor to the liberal agenda. The liberal peacenik agenda that assumes that everything is equal, and if Islam says that something is bad, well, that's just their culture. We should just respect everything in their culture. But, you know, it's the hard work for the ex-religionist is, once you reject everything, when you first try to reject everything, you know, pulling back on some things, and re-embracing some things that are just part of built-in human nature, you know, and they weren't just exclusive to your religion. So I think valuing life is one key thing that we should embrace. So let's see. Let me see what I think about all the stuff that they talked to us about when I was young. Okay, what do I think about masturbation? I think if masturbation doesn't distract you from reproductive sex, or if it's kind of an augment, if it doesn't distract you and it can be an augmentation to reproductive sex, then I think it's a good thing. And for the most part, for most people, it just will be that way naturally, I think. You know, it's just the way it is. So we don't have to shame it, but, you know, we don't have to over-encourage it either. We can it's just kind of, it'll be there. Don't worry. And it won't automatically lead to being a homosexual. That's wrong also. Okay. Sex before marriage. No problem, except with the fact for the considerations about disease transmission. So, I think in general, if you can find some other ways to be sexual with someone during your, you know, say 14 to 18 years, if you can find some other way to be sexual without disease transmission, maybe you could do that, or you know. But I'm not an advocate of total abstinence, but you do have to. I think there should be heavy education about the modes and methods of disease transmission and how to avoid it. So there's that. And then I think if, you know, you meet someone and things are looking good, you know, premarital sex, no problem. Okay. Abortion. I think before viability, it should be discouraged but legal. And as viability gets less, then it should be, then the legal, the legal allowance should get less also. I mean, the legal allowance should follow the viability line. And people who engage in abortion before viability, they're not murderers, so that's wrong. But people like Peter Singer who have advocated for after-birth abortions are crazy sociopathic nuts, in my view, who've had the liberal death cult meme set infect their brains. That's Peter Singer. Okay. So anyway, those are some of my views as an enlightened atheist who's taken a step back not only from the conservative stuff, but also the liberal. And then embracing naturalism and examining, for example, what the cultural mores are of a country like my wife's, where there's no religion, and yet they seem to be more socially conservative. What's up with that? Where did that come from? Did it come from communism? No, I don't think so. I think it's just natural, huh? Valuing life. There's something good about that. Huh? What do you think, ultra-lefty liberal? So anyway, have fun.